Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Mariam Arafat, a marriage and intimacy coach. And today I'm here with a special guest, my husband. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for having me. And this will be, I'm new to all of this. Obviously, Mariam, mashallah, has had quite a lot of experience with this already. But obviously, with me, I have done a few videos earlier. Don't know if you guys have watched, but Mariam has been telling me that we need to do more of these. So now we've we're just doing one today, and obviously this is going to get better. But yes, I mean, uh, we'll just carry on with just as normal and just being as natural as possible as we can.
The idea of this conversation with my husband is as raw, as real as we can get. So you can expect some mistakes, some
Yes,
bloopers as well,
yes,
because we want this conversation to be unfiltered. Because some of these conversations we both have had, and I have been having a lot of requests from my clients and my followers on Instagram to do these episodes where my husband is also there because they want to watch these episodes with their husband. They want to know a man's perspective. Even I've had men messaging me asking me how to have conversations or how to be a husband to their wife. So, this is a podcast, a Muslim's marriage podcast, where we will be sharing advice. We will be sharing our experiences as a
yes.
married couple for Alhamdulillah 22 years,
Alhamdulillah.
where 15 years of our marriage we didn't know what we were doing, Alhamdulillah, but Allah kept us together, and now we know that Allah wanted us to do this work. So our intentions are to help Muslim couples
Inshallah.
get better in conversations, get better in emotional intimacy, understand the real meaning of marriage, which unfortunately a lot of us still don't know. We just get married and we just have the wedding, but we don't know how to be a married couple. So today's topic is how to have deep and meaningful conversations with your spouse. Arafat is going to be sharing his insights, his experience from interacting with men, noticing the human behavior. I will be sharing insights from my clients, from my coaching expertise, and what I see a woman needs to do. So let's begin. Bismillah. Why does a man find it hard to open up to his wife?
Right. Again, what I can point out certain things where, if you feel a man would feel opening up if he's criticized, if he's judged, misunderstood, and happens specifically when the past is reminded. When you bring up when you're having a conversation and something goes wrong, obviously everyone's a human. We're not 100%. Things happen. We've got mood swings that come. So, and every time if you're having that conversation, or if you feel kind of reluctant to open up, because you'd be like, okay, it'll just come up again. She would say the same thing back again. She'll remind me of what happened then, or what happened when we had that conversation. So that is, I think, most of the time. And then a man just wants to kind of just, okay, just let it be, kind of thing. So I guess those are mainly the the points where I would feel that, okay, let's just leave it, kind of thing.
And being criticized and judged, uh, do you mean that he's doing something and that's being not recognized by his wife and she is criticizing and repeating it again and again? Do you mean that?
Yes, that, and plus, if you're not listening, if you're not, if you made up your mind not to listen at all,
Hmm.
then there's no point having that conversation. It has to be a two-way thing where both have to listen to each other. And with when if you want a man to speak, you let him speak and talk it out. It
Hmm.
might not be the right thing.
Hmm. Mm.
there could be differences, but I think having that open conversation
Mm.
itself, the word itself, means that okay, speak it out, and then the next step of that could be then again just point out where the problems were, or the issues are, and then just take it from there.
Mm. So the first step is having that open space, safe space in the marriage where both the spouses are being heard. That's the
Yeah,
thing, yeah?
yeah. So I mean, you should be comfortable that whatever I say or you say to me
Hmm.
shouldn't be will not be judged.
Hmm.
That I will not be judged or you will not be judged. It could get. I mean, this could happen with a man as well. I mean, the man could be doing the same thing with the his wife.
Hmm.
So if we have to come to that situation or that point where it should be, you should, when you're having that conversation, it'll be like, okay, I'm not going to be judged, and I'm not going to be, you're not going to point fingers at me,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then that's when you start having those healthy, conversations,
Conversations, yeah.
which obviously makes things better
Hmm.
in time.
Yeah. And that leads us to the second point, trust.
Yeah, I mean, again, trust, same thing. Yeah, obviously, whatever he's saying stays between both of them. That's one of the main things as well,
Hmm.
because unlike men, I mean, I could take my example. I wouldn't go and speak to my friends mainly about what's happening at home or things like that. But with women, generally, you've got friends plus
Hmm.
family, sisters, uh, mothers, that
Yeah.
you would go and speak to them. Everyone would have a different way of thinking about it. So then, if you are speaking to multiple people,
Hmm.
multiple individuals,
Yes.
you're
Yes.
getting different
Different
feedback from
feedbacks.
there,
Yes. Yes.
then you're getting confused
Yeah.
because you don't know which one to actually
Listen to.
listen to. So that, I guess, that's where the trust, where if I want to say something to you, I'll probably be like, no, because you go and speak to, two or three or four different people,
Hmm.
and probably come back to me with a mixture of everyone's thing and everyone's feedback, and then it just becomes, it'll be like, just leave it kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where
And this is where boundaries also come in. It's a good point that you've mentioned this because you need to be very careful of whom you allow in your marriage.
yeah,
If you're talking to it, let's say a woman wants to talk because
yeah,
this is how a woman
obviously,
is.
yeah,
She wants to talk, she wants to take feedback. But if you're taking feedback from everyone, then you are allowing everyone's voices to be in your marriage, their voices, their ideas, their energy. And this is where you need to draw boundaries because let's say you're talking, that's why coaching is there. If you're talking to a coach, she is going to advise you or tell you what to do according to your specific needs because a coach's job is to know the ins and outs of your marriage. But whereas a friend will decide to give you feedback from her perspective without having this in-depth knowledge.
basically that person is not neutral.
Yes, yes.
They've got it could be a friend who's got some sentiments for you. Well, obviously, you know has been your friend for quite some time, knows you, and or is going through, has a different relationship with their husbands,
Hmm,
totally different to what, every person is different. Their husband could be different.
hmm.
Your husband is different, and so every situation is different, so
Yeah.
we just have to take it with that.
And it could be that that person is jealous of what you have with your husband. As simple as
Yeah,
that.
could be.
And that can invite a lot of uh, triggers, a lot of friction between you and your husband. So you have to provide your safe space in your marriage by drawing these boundaries.
Yeah,
Alhamdulillah, that's a very good point. The next one, it's a very good one.
he needs his space. He needs a space and kind of rest from the day and recharge.
Mm.
So one of the main things is how he's welcomed home. when you enter the house, obviously a man comes. He's got things, a lot of things happening during the whole day. There's a lot of stress in today's world. No matter what you're doing, there's just lots of stress out there for everyone,
Mm.
for a man, for a woman, for every human being, I would say. Even our children these days, when they go to school, there's a lot of stress out there as well. Uh, I feel, when you enter the house and the way you're welcomed, with all the smiles from your wife and your kids, that to me is something that, kind of presses the reset button. That just the first 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, that when you enter the house and when you welcome your husband, that kind of resets everything, what's happened the whole in the past 12 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, whatever the workday time is. And you kind of you forget what's happened during the whole day,
Mm.
etc., with work and everything. And it's not obviously it's not as simple at times, because it could be a very stressful day. You've had something really bad happen, or multiple things. There could be a lot of things, but then again, that still helps. As soon as you enter, you know you don't have. I mean, the worst thing for me is, I mean, we've had it before as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
where you enter the house and it's just complaints. Oh, this happened, that happened, and a man doesn't want to hear that. He wants to come home. He wants to just reset, recharge, and then obviously he's looking. He should be looking forward to come home.
Mm.
Whereas not, okay, I've finished one thing now, one task of my part of my life of the day, and now I have to go to the other one, where it should be like, oh man, not that again, kind of thing. That would be something disastrous, I would say.
Mm.
A, for the relationship. B, it affects your health. It affects your well-being, I would say.
Mm.
So, I mean, those things are major factors which can help. And again, that's just the first 5 or 10 seconds that you could do. Again, you would have had a maybe a more worse day than
Your
him.
husband, yeah, yeah.
But if you give that 10 seconds, that could change a lot, because he kind of resets. And then if you come up and you sit down, make a cup, a cup of tea, or however you have the thing. I mean, whatever your general thing happens, as in when the husband comes home, and then if you sit down, relax, and then have that conversation
Mm.
and talk to him about it again, an open conversation, where you know that if something has happened with you during that day. I mean, again, it goes to the first point where we were having. Once you get into that habit of having that open
Space,
conversation,
yeah.
having that space, and if you're okay with having those open conversations, then obviously give it that 10 seconds, let the person reset. He's come home, and then you can have that conversation, and trust me, it will go a lot better than
Yeah.
the other way.
And this takes time. This takes time because this is something that we didn't have in our marriage. But one day I noticed that he's come home and I was not present. I didn't welcome him. And he didn't say anything to me, but with his mood, with his body language, I was able to judge that, okay, this is something that he is craving for. He needs it. And then I made sure that whenever he comes home, I welcome him. The kids are there. I make sure I don't take any phone calls at that time. I'm absolutely free. The house is smelling nice. The kids are fresh. I am fresh. That's been the biggest game changer. Allahumma barik in our marriage. And there are days when I'm down. There are days when I'm tired. I'm stressed. So sometimes I let him know before he comes home that I'm on a call. I'm working today, or I'm really tired. But even if I don't tell him, the understanding, mashallah, that we have now, over the years, we have worked on our marriage. Now it's understandable. Now with each other's face, our body language, we are able to judge. So whatever we are sharing over here, you have to know that these skills take time. It's like you're planting a seed. So it takes time for those seeds to ripe and to bloom. Sometimes a particular seed will not ripe, it will not bloom, but that doesn't mean it's not working. It is working. Marriage requires patience, it requires duas, it requires living the relationship consciously and mindfully,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Now you need,
The question.
yeah.
So the question that I've been told to ask is, why does a wife find it hard to open up to her husband?
Mhm. Yes. I was in 2 points here. Uh, this is what I have witnessed with my coaching clients and with myself as well. One, she is scared to be vulnerable. She is scared to be vulnerable, even though vulnerability is a woman's biggest strength. But why she finds it hard to be vulnerable and to open up, one is because she's scared that it will be used against her.
Yeah. So again, one
Trust,
of the
yeah,
points, trust,
yeah,
and then bringing up the
us
past
again and
again and
again,
again and
yeah.
again. Yeah.
So that is one point.
I think another point to be made in this is, if the men use the girl, the wife's, I mean, basically the in-laws,
Hmm.
if they point out to them,
Yeah.
obviously, it's your parent, however they are, but at the end of the day, they're still your mother, your father, your sisters. So again, if a husband uses them
Yeah.
as a target, that,
Hmm.
oh, they said this or they said that, obviously then, eventually the wife would say,
Hmm.
okay, he'll just go back on to saying,
Yes.
oh, because of them or
Hmm.
because of that.
And the
So
wife can also say this. It
exactly,
goes
yeah,
both
it
ways.
goes both ways.
And inshallah, in the future, we will do a separate episode on the in laws and how to draw boundaries. We will be doing that. Because 22 years, we have had our share.
Yes,
Alhamdulillah, we've learned.
alhamdulillah.
We've learned. And it's not that you need to cut the family ties because that is what
That is,
happens.
yeah,
No, you learn to live because this is what our deen teaches us.
true.
Because some people will be difficult, they will be difficult, but that is where boundaries come in, and you can develop those boundaries. But for that, you need to have a strong foundation in marriage. The
Yes,
trust between you and your husband needs to be 199.9%, because 100% is only with Allah. But you have to strive to have that trust with your husband. Coming to the second point,
hmm,
okay, she wants to open up and talk,
okay,
and sometimes she wants to talk and just cry out loud because women have hormonal cycles, they go through that. So sometimes she needs that extra support, like it can be just telling the husband, I just need your shoulder, I just need to put my head there. And the man needs to understand that this is the time he needs to just let her be. She just needs a shoulder to cry out, or she just needs a hug. A man, being a man, provider, a problem solver, he will jump into giving the conclusions that do this, do that. This is the time there's no mentoring or guidance that she needs, because she knows the answers, or maybe she doesn't even know. She just wants that 5 minutes of downtime in her husband's arm or on his shoulders. These are the two things that come up very a lot in my coaching sessions. So this is, if she feels safe with her husband, she will open up and she's going to have those deep and intimate conversations with her husband, inshallah.
yeah,
Inshallah. Now, this is the foundation that we have said. The second part of this video is, how can the couple have deep conversations? And we are going to discuss 4 points, which inshallah, when you apply these, and I want you to let me know in the comments which one will you apply and which you have applied and you've seen the changes, because we want you, the audience who is watching, to interact with us and tell us what has worked and what you would like us to share, because this is a two-way, a two-way road, inshallah. The more you interact, the more it will help us to make videos like this and share the valuable lessons, the expertise, the gems of having a beautiful marriage. So the first point.
Before that, let us know if you actually want me to be in the videos or not. Please comment. And if you do, like and subscribe for sure. I think Miriam always has this thing where she doesn't want to say that, but I'm saying it aloud. Please like and subscribe, and comment as much as you can. Give us your thoughts. Tell us what you want
Hmm.
us to do. We'll work on it,
Yeah.
and as a couple, we will come back to you with our life experiences. What we've gone through and stuff. Ask us the questions in your comments, and we can try and we want to try what we're trying to do here is we're trying to see if we can actually do maybe we'll start with one video a week, and then we can always increase that depending on how things move. Obviously I've got a full-time job, so I'm also busy with that, but then we can take time out and try and do this as well,
Yeah.
inshallah.
Let us know what topics you want, any specific topic that you need from both of us to share our experience, our expertise. That would be really, really helpful, inshallah. The first point
Okay.
is listen to understand, not to respond.
Hmm.
And this is very, very simple, very, very easy to understand. Like most people listen to respond. Because let's say you are saying something
Yeah.
and the answers are playing in my head.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to answer you rather than listen to what you're actually saying.
Okay. Yeah.
So over here, active listening also comes in. Active listening is you're listening to the other person. There's no phone, there's no distraction. It's eye contact. That is what is needed over here. And sometimes when the husband is saying something, like if he says something, I'm tired or I've had a hard day at work, I will listen to him and I will say, oh, subhanallah, you've had a really difficult day at work. May Allah make it easy for you. Is there anything you need from me? Just saying this uplifts your mood
Right. Yeah. It does.
because you feel that you've been heard and she's there for me.
Again, this would work both ways as well. I
Hmm.
mean, like I said previously as well. So the wife would have had a bad day or a hard day as well.
Hmm.
But if both can work on the same situation and calm each other down,
Hmm.
then you could just later on in the next steps, then you can have a better conversation rather than saying I mean, I'll just give you an example, as in it could be like, I've had a very hard day. Oh, so I've also had a very hard day.
Hmm.
So it doesn't. So it's just come to a standstill. It's just come to okay. So now what, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, and on the flip side, what you could do is basically, if you've had a hard day, that's fine. Someone someone needs to take the first step.
Hmm.
So I mean, get your egos aside, and it could be the man. I've had a hard day, or the wife has had a hard day. And let them know that you're there for each other.
Hmm.
And then inshallah, things would get better and easier to have that conversation, open up. Have an open conversation, let each other know what's happened and how it can be resolved.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
That's a very good point, mashallah. The second one is vulnerability.
yeah,
Now, for me personally, vulnerability is the biggest and the most courageous step that you will take in your marriage. This will set your marriage apart. Because why? There's level of trust, you have healthy boundaries, you know how to be open to each other because you feel safe being in each other's presence. So there are multiple layers when it comes to vulnerability. It's opening up to your spouse, knowing that the trust is there, knowing that what you are saying will not be targeted back at you,
yeah,
it will be safe with you, and then you are going to provide that safety that either the husband or the wife is looking.
yeah.
So the husband can be looking at this, what I'm sharing with you doesn't go outside. It
Sure.
stays with The wife. The wife can be looking that what I'm sharing doesn't go again to the family and it's not used against her, but you both rather provide a safe space that is, you know what, I'm here for you.
A solution.
Yeah, a solution to move forward.
Yeah.
This helps to put the guard down. This helps to put the defense down because sometimes when you're having a conversation, you have your defense up because you know the attack is coming.
Yeah.
You know the threat is coming. See, I told you.
Yeah.
See,
That's
you
one.
don't listen to me. Simple as that. Like, even why don't you ever share your feelings with me? Or why don't you ever share how your day was with me?
Oh, because you would just say that,
Yeah,
or
but
you would just react in this way.
yeah, and it's changing this rather, see, you're pointing fingers with this statement. So when you're having, and when you want to say that he's not opening up or she's not opening up, saying, lately I have been feeling disconnected from you. I feel we need to sit down or just go out for a drive and just be with each other. Having, changing the statement
Yeah.
rather than pointing, saying how I feel, expressing myself so that the threat is not there, the defense and the guard doesn't come up.
Again, I think, yeah, on this one, when you're saying that the guard doesn't come up, and if you try and slowly get into the habit of speaking up
Mm.
in a nice way in a calm environment, then things can they'll slowly get there. Eventually, they will get there,
Mm.
but you just need to take that step, the bold step, of speaking to your spouse, uh, and telling them that that conversation needs to happen. We need to speak. There's things that we need to talk about, and if you have it in a calm environment, I think that it would work out.
Yeah. That's why having no distractions, not being on your phone, and that is important. And this only takes 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to set aside 1 hour or 2 hours. No, 5 to 10 minutes of real conversations where you both hear each other. There's no distraction, and you honor what the other person is saying. That is what is needed in the marriages. The next point is appreciation and gratitude. Very simple,
Yeah,
very much overlooked,
and very important.
very important.
Very important. I think uh, in this, a man it plays. It's more important for a man to do this. Uh, I mean, it would require. I mean, I wouldn't say. Actually, I'll take that back. It's for both ways. Appreciating every small, even small milestones. Appreciating them goes a long way. So if your wife's done something, and if she's achieved something, appreciate her. Um, you know, actually say it out loud, kind of thing. You might be appreciating her from the inside, but what they need is basically they want you to say it out loud.
Yeah.
And the similar thing, I mean, the same thing goes with a man as well. I mean, if he has done something, if he's achieved something, obviously let them know that, you know, the appreciate that. Again, say it out loud.
Mm.
When you're saying out loud, it actually then kind of digs in. Whereas you, like I said, you might be appreciating it from the inside, but again, saying out loud makes a lot of difference.
Yeah. Appreciating the small and the big things. It doesn't have to be always big. Something very small, like throwing the trash outside, telling the husband, I really appreciate you for going out in the cold and doing it. It just boosts the self esteem and self confidence
Yeah,
because
sometimes you would be like, okay, that was just something small,
hmm,
but then again, it is something big, and if you keep doing it, it also makes a lot of difference on your kids.
yeah,
If your kids are watching the parents do that, it makes a lot of difference for their future. I can guarantee you that.
hmm,
The way the husband is treating his wife, is the mother, I can tell you for a fact that that's how he would be treating his wife, and
the same,
even
yeah,
the daughter as well. She needs to know how she's being, her mother is being treated. And then the similar thing is, how she would treat her husband as well. So it's just not, because it's a household, it's just not you and your husband, or, it's the whole family,
Yeah.
which takes a toll. If you're fighting, the kids will be like, it's obviously it affects them as well.
Yeah. The last point, handle conflict with emotional maturity. Now, conflicts is part of a marriage.
Yeah,
They disagreements are part of marriage. You cannot have a healthy marriage without any disagreements or conflicts. No, you will have it because you're two human beings
absolutely.
living under the same roof, different temperaments, different mindsets, different ages, different backgrounds.
You've been brought up differently.
Yeah, as simple as that. You will not have solutions to all your problems. Trust me. It's there. It's been researched. Maybe 50% or 60% of your problems, conflicts will not have a resolvable solution. But what you can do is just disagree, but don't lose the respect for the spouse. Disagree with the idea that, okay, I'm not happy with this, but I trust you. What you are doing is you're disagreeing with the idea, you're voicing your opinion that I don't agree with this, but as a man, as a husband, I trust you completely. The same goes for the wife.
Yeah. Unless you have a solution, you can voice your solution as well. I mean, you can, again, it could be something that, the man or the wife or the husband don't agree again. But then, just leave it to that, have that trust, have that faith in your spouse to that, they're doing the right thing.
Mm,
You make mistakes in life
yeah,
at every step. Nothing is perfect. You will make mistakes and you will learn from those mistakes. And, sometimes they are big mistakes,
mm,
sometimes they're small, but you learn. I mean, life is a learning point every day, every minute, every hour. You learn, and you just move on.
yeah. And it requires a lot of forgiveness. It requires a lot of mercy as well.
Absolutely.
And one thing is there that if you are, let's say, you are disagreeing on something, you're having a conflict. One, repair is very important. You have to do the repair work, which can be done in the next 24 hours, 48 hours. You don't have to rub anything under the carpet because those things will come up. They will come up again in your marriage. The second thing is that if you feel that it's getting heated,
Yeah.
if it's you both are not coming to a solution, take a break.
Yes.
Go
Go
out,
apart.
go have water, go do wudu, go out for a walk, reset yourself, and then come back
Yeah.
when you both are ready to talk. But you have to talk. You have to talk, and you have to let your spouse know that, you know what, I agree with you, I agree with everything, but this idea, I'm not okay with. Or, yes, we don't see us coming together. Both are thinking in a different way. How can we move forward?
Yeah, there has to be a solution in the sense that you both have to be on the same page, kind of thing.
Hmm.
So if it doesn't work this way, or it doesn't work, if it doesn't work his way, her way, then there has to be a middle way. Something that works for both of you,
Both of you.
and you just have to come up with solutions. I mean, it's just that's the bottom line. I mean, you have to come up with something else.
Yeah.
And uh, like Mariam was saying, when you are angry, I would say just keep quiet, go away,
Break.
go take a break, and then come and then start the discussion again, because
Yeah.
it won't go anywhere otherwise.
Yeah.
It's just going to go the wrong way, which is not the way you want to go.
And this is how resentment and anger builds up. This
Yes.
this is
Yeah.
this is what happens. So I'm going to give you an example of a sentence. Instead of saying you never listen to me, or you're never ever there to understand me, I'm just talking to the walls. You can say I feel unheard. when I talk to you. When I talk to you about my day, when I talk to you about my work, I really want us to connect more. How can we do that? Can you see the reframe?
Yeah, I think choosing the right words
Yeah,
is very important. There's so many, there's a sentence you can say in many different words, but choosing the right words is very important because you don't know if you're using a particular word that triggers
the other
the
person.
other
Hmm.
person
Hmm.
in a negative way.
Hmm.
So by now you should, again, you learn this, with each other. Again, you'll make that mistake, and then you should pick it up that, okay, this word doesn't work, or
Hmm.
this word doesn't set in.
Yeah.
So we need to, reframe it or reverse it, and then use another word.
Hmm.
So if at that point as well, you could just do it there, then and there, as if you've said something and you've noticed that it hasn't, it's triggered the other person. You could just go, okay, let me rephrase it,
Hmm.
look for another word,
Hmm.
and put it in another way. So then at least, then you're calming the situation then and there, as opposed to leaving it, and then, it just creates another issue, and then another argument starts up
Hmm.
where it just, explodes into
Yeah.
a different thing.
I love that point. I love that. Mashallah. Now, deep conversations are the foundation of emotional intimacy. When you have the right intentions, when you know that Allah has blessed you with an amazing marriage, an amazing husband, amazing wife, you set your intentions right and have good, deep conversations. They're not that hard, they're not that difficult. You just have to have patience. You need to make immense dua, and you need to know what words, what timings, what situations are a trigger, and learn to have a deeper understanding of each other. Observe each other's behavior, observe each other's body language, especially when they are triggered and when they are not triggered. Just these little things will make a lot of difference. Let us know which guidelines you have tried, you have implemented, and what the result has been. We would love to know from you what resonated with you. If you would want us to talk about any particular topic, do let us know.
Yes, please. Uh, Again, for me, this was after a long time. I've come onto a camera. I was told that I was looking in the wrong side, but I'm trying. I'm trying hard. Again, this things are going to get better. Like I said, in relationship, things get better. While we're doing this, it'll get better. But just let us know how you want us. What other topics did you want us to talk about, and in this one as well, what you liked, what we've said. Plus, share, like, and
Yes.
subscribe.
Okay. Jazakallah khair for listening to us.
Jazakallah.
Assalamu
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum
alaikum wa
wa
rahmatullahi
rahmatullahi
wa
wa barakatuh.
barakatuh.